meant to keep. Eyes like daggers cut the dark. Blazing trails ignite the spark. We're the thunder in the storm, breaking free from narrow norm. THT Thursday, light the flame. Sparks ignite, don't play the game. Rip it and break the mold. Truth is fire, truth is gold.
Rippin' Rabbit Hole is a community-driven radio. At times the community comments may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that we or our sponsors do not condone. Views or opinions expressed by the community, callers, or guests, are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of this site. Rippin' Common Sense content is intended for mature audiences only. Enjoy.
Truth is fire, truth is gold.
I don't know how to hear on here.
Good evening and welcome to Tin Hat Thursday. It is Thursday, April 9th, 2026. I am Screech Scott, joined by,
Red Owl.
and we are coming to you live from our perch high above the western shores of Lake Michigan, where we will be screaming 360 degrees of truth. We want to thank you for joining us on Tin Hat Thursday and hope that you will join us right here on Rippin' Common Sense Radio each and every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you are listening on Rumble or over on YouTube, we invite you to hop on over to rippinrabbithole.com and join the rest of Tin Hat Nation in the VIP Backstage Lounge. The Backstage Lounge is free and always will be. Go to rippinrabbithole.com, click on the Backstage 24/7 Lounge in the taskbar. Scroll down a bit until you see the Backstage Lounge and click on the big red Enter Now button. Allow the permissives, put in your name and join the fun. Just remember to keep yourself muted until the show ends. Listen to the show and then hang around for some spirited discussion with others. The Backstage Lounge is a great place to meet new friends and talk about anything that you want to. And we can speak from experience when we say that you will often find screech owls deep into the early AM hours. That is rippinrabbithole.com. rippinrabbithole.com. And the link for the backstage is in the chat on both of those other platforms. If you want to come over and join the backstage crew, come on over. There's plenty of seats available tonight, folks.
What if, just beyond the edge of what we can see, another version of your life is already unfolding? A world where the roads you didn't take were taken, where the choices you hesitated on were made without fear, where everything you know, everything you believe, may be turned completely inside out. Does a parallel universe truly exist? And if it does, how different would your world look tonight? Would it be better or far worse? Strap on your tin hats, Tin Hat Nation, because tonight, Screech Owl Scott and Red Owl are stepping beyond the veil, diving headfirst into the unknown, where reality bends and possibilities multiply. But here's the question that lingers in the shadows. If you were given the chance to cross over, no return, no second chances, just a one-way ticket into another version of existence, would you take it? Or would you stay and wonder what might have been? We want to hear from you. What does your parallel universe look like? Step into the mystery and join the conversation.
Kind of a creepy beginning, Red.
I was just gonna say that. That was kind of creepy.
So tonight, kind of based on the dream you had about being in a parallel universe.
Yeah, and I know how my parallel universe went, but
So what did it look like, Red?
it was a lot better than what this one is. That's for dang sure. In my parallel universe, number one, there was no COVID in 2020, so we didn't have to worry about all the vaccines and the
murders,
murders. Yeah,
lockdowns.
correct. President Trump was elected for a second term. It was no Biden at all. So the elections were fair.
So we never experienced 4 years of Joe Biden.
No, we did not.
Boy, that's.
I mean, that's a huge plus right there.
What a world to live in there.
Definitely. And there was no cheating going on in elections. The elections were fair, free. We didn't have any corruption. It was almost like you're living in heaven. Heaven on earth.
And when I think, so you told me about this dream when you woke up this morning, and I didn't sleep well last night at all. Like, I just slept. It was a terrible night's sleep. So maybe while you were off in dreamland living in paradise, I was tossing and turning and staring at the ceiling. But what a beautiful dream that is to think. And when I think about the potential, there's a lot of people believe. I don't know if there's a parallel universe or not, but there's a lot of people who believe that there is such a thing.
And that kind of, when I think of like the Mandela effect, that's what makes me think that there is a parallel universe. Maybe I'm wrong, but if there is one, I sure would like to be there, like the dream, that's for sure.
And think of it, to expound on your dream, when I think of, the work that went into electing Tim Rampton as governor in 2022.
Yes.
And let's say in your parallel universe, Tim Rampton was elected governor of the great state of Wisconsin.
That actually was in the dream, so yeah.
And we would be able to call this the great state of Wisconsin.
Exactly.
Because think of how different things would be. Elections would, well, you said elections in your dream, but in a parallel universe, my vision would be elections are safe and secure, and
yes.
we're casting ballots on paper, and we're hand counting them, and we're
no machines
doing it in person on the day of the election. And
there was no mail-in ballot except for the usual what they used to be for military,
indefinitely confined,
and
people who were on vacation.
Yes.
And I think about how different that would be, because when I think back to all the things that Tim campaigned on in 2022, and all those things could have been addressed if I could pick my parallel universe. That's what I would have. I would be right now, I would be gearing up to work on the re-election bid for Tim Rampton.
Yes, we would.
And we'd be looking at elections that were safe and secure.
Mm-hmm.
No questions asked.
And I tell you, in my dream, Tim Rampton would be re-elected governor this year, hands down, without a question. I mean, it would be like a landslide, because they would see all the good he did over the last 4 years. So,
and think of what could be and so many other things. And I'm anxious to see what other people would envision a parallel universe being like. Would it be better? Would it be, I mean, it could be worse too, couldn't it, Red?
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, everything could be reversed.
Yeah.
And we could be living in a state that was led entirely by Democrats. and we're probably heading there.
I was just gonna
We
say,
might
how
get-
is that different than now? I
Well-
mean, yeah, it is different, but
It
yeah,
is different.
it is heading
but-
that way
but-
by the looks of it.
We could get a glimpse of that parallel universe in just a few short months,
Hmm.
because the Dems and the left are looking at a trifecta come
In
come
Wisconsin,
November.
yes.
In Wisconsin, I'm talking about.
But I'm sure the way that they're going right now, I wouldn't doubt that they would take the federal as well. Not
And who knows?
trifecta,
But that's my point. Is we could be in a few short months, we could be living the parallel universe to what we have had. Even as bad as it's been,
Mhm.
it's going to be a lot worse.
yeah. So unless people start changing course now, that's what we're heading for, and you better buckle up. it's
Absolutely.
not gonna
But-
be
But I
good.
think about all the good that could come from living in a parallel universe. You and I could be in a position, and others, the things that we're passionate about wouldn't exist. And it's kind of the work that we've done with Homeless Red,
I was going to say, in a
it-
parallel universe, we would have ASEF.
there would be
going.
ways that we could help homeless. We would be in a position to do so financially and
And I mentioned ASEF because that's what we wanted to call ourselves when we were helping the homeless in Vegas. And it meant a smiling end to homelessness because of the gentleman that we met. We never knew his real name. It was always just Smiley because that's all he did was smile. Here he's homeless and he smiled all the time. But yeah, we would have that. I don't want to say charity, but we would have that going and getting people off the streets.
a helping hand.
Yes,
Uh,
hand up, not a hand
So-
out, but a hand up.
but again, an alternate universe or a parallel universe could look. It could be good. It could be bad, and we'll watch for some comments coming in and on Rumble or on YouTube.
Mhm.
One of the questions that I have read for you, and now I'm guessing, those that believe in the parallel universe, they think that we're living in another universe as we are now, right?
Yes,
But under different circumstances.
Mhm.
Now, if that weren't the case, if you had an opportunity right now, Red, and you didn't exist in a parallel universe, but you had the opportunity to go there.
hmm
Okay, you were able to peek in the window and see what life was like there.
okay.
Would you go if it was a one-way ticket?
That depends.
It depends on what.
Would my family come with, like my kids, my grandkids?
So
You.
if they weren't there,
If they were not there, then no, I would not go.
Wouldn't matter how
No.
wonderful it was. You
No.
would not go.
No, I can't leave my kids and my grandkids, or you.
Hmm.
I know. I could see it in your eyes. He's already saying, "Oh crap." He was gonna want to say, "Yeah, I would go."
So
you don't want to
Well,
say it, do you?
I just look at the mess that we live in, and if I were able to go to a place, a parallel universe where all the things that we've been fighting against, wars, poverty, none of that existed. It's kind of a utopia. I don't think, but if it did
It sounds like
exist,
heaven.
if it did exist, would I go? I suppose at the end of the day, Red, I would agree with you. I wouldn't go if you didn't go with me, and
Yeah, you're only
Give-
saying that now because I said it.
I would look.
Because I see the look on your face.
I would look bad to the crowd here if I said, yeah, hell yeah, I'll see you later, Red. I'll see you on the flip side of this one. But
Well, that just means that we probably would have reconnected at some point when things on the parallel that we're on now start going better
I think
and hit a crossroad.
I think as bad as it is here for some people right now, us included at times,
Hmm
I think most people would opt not to go through that door if they had to leave family
Yeah.
and friends behind, and never to be able to cross back over.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interest.
And Catherine said that they all might be there anyway.
Right, and if there was a guarantee that they would be there, it would be interesting to see, though, in an alternate universe or a parallel universe. Like, would we have made the same decisions? Because obviously things would be different there. So, are you and I together in a parallel universe, or have we each made different choices along the way, and we didn't meet in a parallel universe?
I'm going to guess that this glimpse that we're talking about and going into the other parallel universe comes after we met. If not, we probably would have never met.
And if there's just a doppelganger and he's living in a parallel universe of me, it would be interesting to be able to take a peek there.
Oh, we have a hand up. IRS 4547. Go for it.
I think I know who this is.
Yep.
It's Lloyd.
I knew it. Hey, Lloyd.
Hi.
How's it going, guys? Hey, good show.
Good.
Think of this though. If a parallel universe existed where the roles of digital currency and cash, the fears were reversed, where cash was used for unscrupulous activities, corruption, blackmail, trafficking, yet in a digital economy, all was controlled and flagged for any type of that activity, and none of it existed, and everybody lived in harmony. And where we would go one, we would go all if we could go to that kind of universe. Just a thought.
And to that point, I mean, if we're talking about no corruption and that idea would be attractive to anybody, I would think.
Oh yeah.
Even in the case of digital currency,
if there was
no corruption, and that's what
and we're guaranteed that there is not going to be any corruption, from then on out. Type thing.
Well, that's the dream, isn't it? I mean, isn't that the dream that we're having right now? I mean, that we're talking about, that we have a parallel universe that we would want to go to.
Right.
Right.
So how does that manifest itself?
I'm not sure, because I'm not sure where the doorway is to that parallel universe.
Hopefully it's right around the corner. But expand on what you mean by how does that manifest?
So do you think that a parallel universe is created then, Lloyd? And I know nothing about parallel universes.
Well, let's just take for the example right now. If you could switch roles with an unknown, independently, enormously wealthy person that did nothing but travel the world and see everything, and that person was reversed into your role where you are right now in this universe, you were propelled into that universe, would that be a parallel universe that you would find acceptable to make the switch?
Yeah,
so that would be manifesting. And how would you manifest that? Well, you'd have to somehow become independently wealthy. And whether that person lost all their money and became into yours, that would be, a disaster. That'd be a nightmare instead of a dream.
Oh yeah.
But how do you manifest the world that we want to get to? Well, we've got to get rid of corruption, and we got to get rid of trafficking. We got to get rid of drugs. We got to get rid of all these things. And if everybody had sufficient needs met of all their wants, would that society be built in such a way that it would be compatible with the dream that we want to live in, where everything works out? All the election people are smart and run everything correctly, and we're just tickled pink. I mean, do we manifest that by thinking it, or do we actually plan it out? And is there a plan right now going on that's making us head towards that?
And
so
maybe there,
as long as we have parallel universes tonight, that's what I was thinking.
Well, and when I was thinking of a parallel universe. I was thinking that, as we're going down what we now know, like talking here now, we don't see it, but somebody else has got a completely different, or I would be in that completely different world at the same
another
time.
Screech and Red in
Yeah.
another
Like
universe.
a doppelganger, I guess
Do-
you call it. But that's
doing-
the way that I pictured the parallel universe type thing. But I see what you're saying, and excuse me, I have to agree with that. But if I had the choice between switching places with somebody, would I? And I say it again, if my kids and my grandkids were allowed to come with me, by all means, yeah, I'd do it. If they couldn't come with me, then I would stay right where I'm at.
See, in that scenario that Fun with Flags or Lloyd, our
Mhm.
good friend Lloyd had put out there, where someone else now takes my place and I take their place and they're living the good life. See, there's a part of me that would say, no, I wouldn't do that because, I mean, it really wouldn't be fair to that other person
Right.
to now be living in this
The
perch.
yeah, I wouldn't put anybody
And that,
through
like, I
something
would have
like
a hard
that.
time doing that to someone else.
Yep. I never wish ill will on others. And
What are you
that
saying? What are you saying, Red?
well, I would like our place to be a little bit bigger so we have a little bit bigger perch, but I'm not gonna like trade this for the car. So we are in a better place, but would I want to be a big huge mansion?
Doggone it.
No, not necessarily either. And I see you goofing over the house through the window.
So in a parallel universe,
but-
I would not have any technical difficulties. I'll guarantee you that, Red.
Exactly.
I would say it's safe to say the consensus would be that nobody wants to make a switch, but we all
Yeah.
want to make a jump.
Yeah, make it better.
So Lloyd, I know you are well versed in the money aspect, the digital currency, and you understand that very much. I mean, do you think we're headed to that type of world, Lloyd? I'm just gonna throw it out there for you. Do you think that
Well-
world that we dream of? Do you think we can reach that point?
What's happened in the last 10 years, for example, since Trump came on the scene? A lot of it's been about the money, and isn't money the aspect that we're going to attack so that we can destroy this regime that has kept us under their thumb for the last 150 years minimum? And there's evidence of that. And if you need the computer aspect to make the integrity errorless, let's call it, and we can use technology that can do verification without any doubt that it's who you say you are, then can't smart contracts and aspects of life be better? Uh, Money's not required anymore for your wants. Those that were probably in early will have more than they know what to do with. That's called generational wealth. Doesn't that all those things make foundations of a new society uh, obtainable? And do we see this coming along? Well, with all the data centers that are going up all over the world, whether it's in your backyard or not, they're coming, folks. And that's part of the uh, computer intelligence that's going to run our machines and our factories and manifest the products that we want to make a better life. So, is this parallel universe happening right now? Do we see it or do we not see it? I mean, do we want it? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of back and forth talk of fears, but they feared the internet when it first came on too. I mean, literally there was articles that the internet was not going to make it. It was just too complex.
Well, in the
changes the
internet,
optimal world.
when you talk about the internet, though, a lot of the fears and stuff that we thought about back then, I would say, now looking back at it, yeah, it started out great. There is a lot of corruption, obviously, on the internet. Um, it's a great way to stay in touch with people, but if we can get rid of all the corruption that's online, that'd be great. So hopefully that comes
And
along with all this.
right, I hope that comes with the plan because, like, in
Mhm.
my world, Lloyd, in my mind, if I could live in a parallel universe, and I was talking to AJ, and AJ hasn't verified it, but he's been told that in the state that he lives, uh, people that try and access porn sites on the internet, uh, I can't remember the term he used. Was it red flagged or
I think so.
anyway, they're not able to access it.
It's blocked.
It's blocked. And
And the reason why that came about was because apparently there's a legislator in Minnesota that is a trans and thinks that they should make it legal for trans kids or gay LGBTQ whatever in order or to be able to access porn so they can use it as an educational tool.
and and also in our state, our governor vetoed a piece of legislation that would have, and this was a simple disclaimer, stating that yes, I am 18 years old to enter porn sites, and he vetoed that legislation. That's how the conversation came up. So
Yeah.
I live in a world where people can't use the internet for trafficking or grooming children, and if that's part of the process that you're talking about with where we're headed, I'm all on board with that one.
Oh, definitely.
I also want flying cars.
You and the dang flying cars.
Hold on a minute, Red.
We can't even have unmanned cars
in Vegas
without getting into crashes.
We'll pick this up in a minute. We do have to take a short break, Red, and we only have one thing on. We only have one item on the, but it's the most important thing.
Yes, it is.
The letter writing campaign for Harry Wade.
Yes.
We're asking everybody to submit a letter to Judge Johnson, asking for the court's leniency in the sentencing of Harry Wade. We want to overwhelm Judge Johnson's mailbox.
And it does not have to be just from people in Wisconsin. It can be from anywhere.
Anywhere, because Harry Wade is about to be Tina Peters 2.0 in Wisconsin, and we're going to do what we can to prevent that from happening and make the judge think about this long and hard. So we have Harry's Army website, or Harry's Army platforms on Facebook, Telegram,
Signal, X.
Those are the two I forget all the time because I don't know how to use them because I'm old, Red.
I know. I'm still learning on tricks, but anyway.
So on those platforms, you will find Harry's Army, and you will find a bulleted list of factual items that came from the hearing. And, well, not everything came from the hearing, but you will find factual items that can be included in your letter to Judge Johnson.
It doesn't have to be all of them. It can be any of them, all of them, none of them at all. Just we want positive feedback, personal letters, handwritten personal letters.
Yeah, don't write a letter and print it off and have a dozen of your friends sign it and send it in, because those are what
usually go tossing
trigger
into the
things going
garbage.
into the garbage can. So we want handwritten letters.
Personalized.
If you have a problem finding any of those Harry's Army on any of those platforms, please contact us at screechowlscott@gmail.com or Harry's Army 2026 @gmail.com, and we will make sure we get that.
We'll get you the PDF
to you.
Yeah.
With the bulleted items.
With the bulleted items, the judge's name, address, and the case number, everything. Don't forget the case number when you write those letters.
And we do ask that you include your name and an address, because that's important, that he understands where they're coming from.
Right.
And we also are asking you to just drop us a line, something. Shoot us a
quick
message
email, message, yeah.
Wherever, to let us know that you submitted a letter, so that we can kind of track how many Judge Johnson is getting.
Correct.
And this is critical that we do this.
But I cannot stress it enough. Please make them personalized. Do not use a like a chain letter or copy paste everything type thing. We want them personal.
And ideally handwritten.
Yes.
I think the music ended.
No, it didn't. Look at that.
No, it didn't.
You always do the long ones. You can speed it up.
Well, I could speed it up, but that wouldn't be good radio. I will say very quickly, because we won't have time at the end because we always overshoot.
Oh, make sure you get them in the hands of the judge before June 2nd.
Yeah, ideally long before then.
Yes. So
we've got a
get
month.
writing.
We've got a month to do this. Get writing, folks.
Okay,
That's your
keep
homework. And very quickly, 2 or more gathered on Sundays at the Rip and Rabbit Hole. Sunday mornings at 10:30. It's an opportunity for worship and diving into the Word, and some good fellowship. And it's a great way to start your Sunday.
Exactly.
Now I think the music.
No,
well,
aren't you look good?
it's a great way to start your Sundays.
And don't forget AJ the Ribbon Rabbit on Fridays at 8 p.m. I'm not sure what his topic is tomorrow night, but it's always going to blow your mind.
And check out the articles he's written on ripinrabbithole.com. He's written a lot of letters that are hit home and are
spot on.
Wonderful letters. So make sure you check out his letters. Boy, this music went really long tonight, and I'm just going to, at this point, well, now it's going to shut down. And then we'll jump back into in a parallel universe.
Maybe
this doesn't happen.
Getting us to the parallel universe right here.
And in a parallel universe, I can eat McDonald's hamburgers again.
Yeah.
And they're all right to eat.
Exactly. We wouldn't have to worry about all those yucky foods. I will say, let's see here.
Give me some information, Red. What is somebody writing?
Mary on YouTube says, Red, I love your dream and I want to live there too. I've got a crazy headache, or she's had a crazy headache for the last 2 days. In that parallel universe, you wouldn't have headaches.
Because you're going to tell me there are med beds in the parallel universe,
yes,
right?
Yes, there is. And
if there is a parallel universe where there's where I have a doppelganger living
right now,
boy, I wish there was a window into that universe that I could look at.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to know what
is to come,
what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
You know, was I a successful brain surgeon?
Trump loves Big Macs.
Who wrote that?
Tammy.
He does, which surprises me that he eats the garbage. I don't want to get off subject here, but
well, maybe he has them make them from real meat. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Anyway, that's a different story. Yeah, I would love to know what kind of universe that is, but I mean, I can go back to bed and keep dreaming that. I would love to be able to do that, but you can never pick up from where you left off.
Was there a kettle on your stove?
No, there wasn't, and there never was.
Oh, that other universe,
now you're going to get whacked. There you go. A parallel universe or another dimension. Good point. I don't know. What do you think, Catherine?
So does anybody have any ideas about, I mean, just if you had the opportunity, and we can just do this with
Well, Catherine, she's got her mic.
Oh.
Well, she turned it off.
No,
I was going to say her microphone's on.
Go ahead, Catherine. Jump right in here.
No, I was going to say, I mean, I think everybody's experienced things like almost like somebody walked by you quickly, like in a hurry, just a motion or something out of the corner of your eye. Maybe I'm the only one. No, I'm sure other people have experienced that kind of thing where, you know, whether they're ghosts or a dimension and something that exists where we can't see it. I guess I kind of believe in that, actually.
Oh, like, yeah. You mean you believe in ghost type thing?
Well, no, both. Either or.
I believe in ghosts, so.
Yeah, I've had too many things happen to me, but
Yep.
the other dimension, I guess, is kind of what I was thinking because, like I said, a motion or something moving out of the corner of your eye, but there's nothing there. So could that be somebody walking past you in another dimension? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So,
And on that note, so
Yeah.
I was in Ripon a year ago, and I was out with a group on during the Freedom Flame,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a guy working at the restaurant,
Oh, that one.
and
Okay.
I walked by him, and it was like looking in the mirror almost.
And you had your picture taken with
And I
him.
had my picture taken with him, and he's living a totally different life in Ripon,
Yeah.
but he looks just like me. Well, not just like me, but pretty close.
Almost. Yeah. But I thought you were going to talk about the ghost experiences, and I know I experienced. Well, I didn't see the ghost, but I know somebody that did, and the person described my grandmother in the casket down to a T. I mean, even what she held in her hand, the color of her gown, everything. And I'm like, there's no way he would have known that because I did not know that person at the time that my grandma passed. And I asked, well, how do you even know this? And he had seen her in her attic window of the house that she used to live in. And
So,
then you experienced.
so now Catherine brings up it. So was Carl was he a ghost, or was he just someone living in another dimension? And he was in our house, so I'm not sure.
Well, it's hard to say because when we moved to Vegas, Carl was still with us.
He came with us.
Yeah. So would that be the ghost following us or a, the other dimension? That's a good question.
Kind of
so,
creepy.
so I think at one point, um, when I was married, my my niece, my husband's brother's daughter passed away at 14, and their daughter used to have some experiences in their house. She was a teenager. She wouldn't sleep in her own room anymore. She slept on the floor next to their bed. And when we stayed in her room, I thought we brought my my niece, our niece, home with us to here in Wisconsin because I had some experiences like weight, like somebody laying next to me or on top of me in the bed. All kinds of things that made me think that, and it wasn't, I didn't feel threatened or anything. But then when we went back to visit again, I think we took her back with us.
So,
So,
so she came home with you?
yeah, yeah.
That's
Well, I was there. So both my ex and I were there the weekend she passed away. We were in the room with her the day before, and by the we weren't in the house when she actually passed, but we were there almost at the end. So, and she was close to us to a degree. We didn't see her all the time, but I did feel a connection with her. So, um, anyway,
that's interesting, and we've gone from parallel universes, but maybe there is a connection
Yeah.
to ghosts, and Red mentioned Carl,
Yep.
which was I don't know how I came up with the name Carl. For he lived in the house we had.
Well, that's the weird thing. You explain it and then how Carl came about.
Okay, so we were sitting in our living room, and we had a formal living room, and then we had a family room, and we were in the family room watching television one night, and I saw a figure walk from the formal living room, and he walked down the hallway, and I don't know why, but I just called him Carl.
Now,
And
mind you, this was like a duplex,
upper
lower,
lower duplex.
and my daughter and her husband and child lived in the lower portion.
Right,
And then there was even further down from below them is their garage.
So one day my ex-son-in-law Dan came up
You were at work.
and he mentioned that Carl keeps moving the tools in the garage.
And I looked at him, I'm like, wait, who? And he said, Carl. I don't know. I just call him Carl. And I'm like,
And Dan and
wow.
I had never had this conversation together.
No, because it was
About
only
Carl.
within a couple days of each other.
So my son-in-law called this figure that was living in our house, named him Carl as well. So I think Carl put that in just told us
Yeah.
somehow. I don't know how, that he was Carl.
Exactly. It was weird because I tell you, I was so blown away when my son-in-law had come up and said something about the tools. I mean, at first he thought Scott may have went down there, and I said no, he hadn't been down there. And that's when he said, well, Carl must have moved my tools again. I'm like, huh?
So Red, did you see? I love this comment that Tammy put in the chat. She said, if there was another of me, I think Rob would freak. And folks, listeners, Rob is Tammy's husband. They've been married for a little over 6 months now.
Yeah.
Happily married, but interesting that she would say that Rob would freak out. He probably would. I don't think Rob probably won't chime in on this one.
He's not home.
Oh, he's not home?
No. Yet. She just texted me and said something about that, so that's how I know he's not home.
So I don't know, Red.
But she also did say, my opinion, someone that, whoops, let me get back up. Someone that just couldn't pass on until they fulfilled something. And then she goes on to say they can attach if they're not ready to let go, in her opinion.
I wish I understood, and I'm going to have to do more research on this because I wanted to talk about this tonight because of your dream, Red, last night. But I want to do more research on this. If there's literally a parallel universe where I'm living.
Yeah. And you can read Corey's.
And Corey says, too bad Lisa Louise isn't here. She has some interesting ghost stories from the apartment she grew up in. And
that would be interesting.
Yeah, maybe we're going to have to do a ghost episode and advertise a little bit and have some people come on and talk. I don't know if
talk about their ghost stories.
I don't know if there's connections of ghosts to parallel universe or not.
I'm not sure.
But I'd really like to know because, again, when I think of there being, if I could be in another universe, or maybe I am in another universe, and in that universe, Tim Rampton is our governor.
Yep,
and
all has been for the last 4 years.
All those things have been addressed. Elections.
Well, the elections, by the time he would have became governor, was already fixed.
Well, in your dream.
Yes, in my dream they were.
Right, but I'm talking about maybe I'm living in another parallel universe where everything is good.
I believe it's coming. And I know I don't know much about the parallel universes, but I do know that at some point, and what point that is, I don't know, our universes or parallels connect.
So do you think that's...
And I believe that's coming.
Can they intersect more than once? Because now you think
I don't know.
You think about the Baron the Baron Trump book.
Yep.
In the early 1900s, right? Long before Baron Trump was a twinkle in fact, Donald wasn't even a twinkle at the time that book was written.
No, but that's where I come up with the time machines.
So do you think maybe these parallel universes crisscross along the way somewhere?
I don't know. Like I said, that I attest to a time machine, so I think that might be a little different. Maybe I'm wrong.
Now I do like Lloyd's idea that maybe we're creating that kind of a situation, and if Lloyd, if I can be assured that that looks like a big long one to read.
That's why I'm going to let you read it.
Who wrote it?
Dope.
Let's see. CERN ripped the fabric of space-time. Think of it like this. All of our own personal parallel universes are separate threads woven together like a giant sheet of cloth or a crocheted blanket. Whatever CERN did back in 2012 started this crazy chain of events where all of our threads are rapidly unraveling. As time goes by, our tightly woven universe we all once shared is ripping apart at a faster and faster pace. We all once shared all the same events, but now we're all starting to separate into our own personal universe where nobody shares anything exactly the same way anymore. That's what causes the Mandela effects. Some of us are still attached to a common universe. Now that's interesting, and
That's
maybe
very
maybe that
interesting.
helps me understand Mandela a little bit because, boy, I'll tell you, Red, I'm still, and I go back and listen to sometimes. Jerry did some great shows on Mandela, and I haven't gone back because I know AJ did one like even prior to Jerry, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to go back and listen to some of them so that I understand it better because
Right.
it's so maddening to me that I remember things a certain way, and maybe that helps me. I'm gonna have to screenshot that one and really break that one down.
Done.
You got it?
Yeah. I took
Uh,
a screenshot because
when I can really
yeah, I
think
definitely
deep
need to look
about
at that.
what was just written by Dope. Uh, Dope has clearly a better understanding of parallel universes. Maybe we should have contacted Dope and said,
Yeah.
Jenny had this wild dream last night. We want to see if I had known that Dope understood parallel universe, because I don't even know if that's what it was you had. It was
Right.
just when you started talking to me because I didn't, maybe it was because I didn't sleep at all last night.
Right.
Hardly.
And I just attested it to being a dream. But was I living in that parallel universe while I was dreaming? I don't know. I don't know how all that works. We haven't dove into that yet.
No, and I just think sometimes you're crazy, so that's what I attribute it to.
Exactly. I know you do. Don't follow a gripping rabbit hole when these topics were on a regular basis on YouTube. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to all those old
YouTuber.
YouTuber from AJ doing these shows because
AJ and Jerry.
Jerry the Dark Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
We probably could have invited Jerry on tonight. Jerry probably understands parallel universes.
I believe he does. Yeah.
I think Lloyd put a comment in there about med beds. I brought up med beds and
Yeah. Let me go back. I want to say it exactly here because I agree with him. Humans to med beds will be like putting your phone in a wireless charger. So in other words, I take that as recharging yourself.
well, I only want med beds to make me healthy and live a long life. If
how
things
long do I gotta put
if
up with
things
you?
are going to improve
Just
though,
kidding.
but because
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, if I gotta, like, I don't want to live to be 100 or 115 if I got to put up with the same crap. If
Yeah.
it's just the same BS that we've been fighting for or against,
Mm-hmm.
then I don't want to live that long. Then
No.
I'd rather just go off into heaven and
Natural progression of life.
wow, is that music early or what is going on?
Yeah, it's early.
Well, let's if the computer. Okay, we're gonna.
Jerry had an
yeah.
experience with aliens, I believe, as a child. I'll have to go
who
back.
Who said that?
Corey.
Oh, Corey.
I have to go back and I think I remember him saying something about that, but I don't remember 100%.
That's weird. I don't remember that. I wonder if Jerry would be a guest on our show, Red.
Possible.
Look at that.
And then Lloyd says the human body is an electrical field. And you know, I agree with you 100%. And I would have never really known that until meeting a lot of the people that we've met over the last 6 years. Because somebody had said that, you know, if you feel off or whatnot, go outside barefoot and touch a tree. And I'm like, what? And then that's when it was explained to me. And then the same thing with when we go to the beach, barefoot in the sand. It's getting us grounded. And that's why that grounding mat that I have works.
And our good friend Lynn and our good friends Lynn and Pete, they'll take us to the beach for that purpose because, well, not only that purpose, they want to
right.
visit with us, but it's all about the grounding. And folks, if you've ever seen pictures of my feet, and I posted them on Facebook from time to time, uh, I'm in need of a farrier to trim my nails and
Oh, for
whatnot. I've got,
crying out loud.
well, you've seen my feet.
And the feet that he posts on Facebook are not his. Repeat, they are not his. Because there's people that actually believe that those are his feet, and they are not. But we do have a hands up.
Oh, we do.
Mr. Rippin' Rabbit.
Is
Go
it, is
ahead.
it Mr. Rippin' Rabbit?
Yeah.
Oh, it's AJ the Rippin' Rabbit. Go ahead, AJ.
Allegedly. And yes, these were the types of topics that we would cover consistently on Rip and Rabbit Hole in finite detail. But to go back to something that you said when you brushed against this individual in Ripon, I happen to know this individual. I actually went to school with this man, Jimmy. And for those of you in the backstage, I've placed this photo
Oh, yep.
of Scott and Jimmy together.
Yep,
And
I see it.
it's remarkable, but it has to beg a few questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you're significantly older than he, Scott. So if Jimmy is a younger version of you and you are him, and I know both of you from both the past parallel universe when he was Jimmy and the future parallel universe where you are Scott, but together you're coexisting in this universe as both Jimmy and Scott for me. That would be indicative of a multiverse, would it not?
Or
It
those paths, those universes finally connected.
Correct.
So-
Deep thoughts.
and this is where I have to dive into this, and I'm going to have to. Dope pointed out that you have, and you just mentioned it, that you did many episodes on this type of thing, and I'm going to have to go back and listen because,
Definitely.
like, I don't understand parallel universes, and I don't know how long you've been listening, but Catherine talked about, these spiritual
Sure.
type beings and or ghosts, if you will.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I mean, and Lloyd brings up another fact that we're creating that parallel universe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think it was Catherine that brought it up, or maybe it was you, around that same point in time where all of a sudden, you somebody comes into your life, right? And you have an experience with an individual, but then all of a sudden that individual no longer exists. So was that individual an actual reality of the universe? Or was that individual existing in an individual universe prior to the universe that we're currently in? And do we shift between these universes unknowingly?
So are you suggesting that I could be moving from one universe to another?
Correct. And that could happen frequently. According to string theory, it's completely logical that we could go to sleep tonight in a universe and wake up tomorrow in a parallel universe and not have any idea that the universe itself has switched, because every infinite possibility in existence would exist in a parallel universe. The best way to visualize this tonight at home, you can go into your bathrooms. Most bathrooms have it, where you've got a big bay mirror, and then you got your medicine cabinet mirror, right?
Right.
And usually you can open it up and you can put the two mirrors together,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of peek into it, and you can see endlessly this never ending mirror that goes on forever. And you'll see yourself peeking into the windows in both directions.
I used to do that when I was a kid.
And perhaps each and every one of those reflections is its own individual, in sync parallel universe where just one thing is different in each one. It's mind bending stuff.
So is that why when we lose things for good, we can't find when we can't find them?
That is an explanation, Catherine. Yes, it truly is.
So-
But great
That would make
topic.
sense.
So AJ, if I can traverse between universes, or if that were possible, can I go back in time then?
Well,
In the case of Jimmy
time
and
travel is a whole different discussion, although it's very similar related. Some people would argue, Art Bell used to argue, that you can only travel back in time to the point where time travel was created. So if time travel didn't exist in the 1800s, then, and it wasn't created till 1902, then 1902 would really be the only theoretical place that you could go back to.
I guess
However,
I guess what I was getting at was you put the picture of my doppelganger Jimmy and I together, and you mentioned that I'm much older than him because you know both versions of us.
mm-hmm.
So does that mean that 64-year-old
Screech.
traveled back to where now Jimmy is whatever 45 or whatever age he is?
It's more concerning for me because it throws a monkey wrench in my universe knowing both of you, because up until that point in time you weren't aware of his existence and he wasn't aware of yours, and up until you brushed past each other and had this unique moment where this photo was taken, I didn't become aware of the likeness. So really, there's multiple parallel universes going on. There's one where you're existing and Jimmy and I exist in that one. There's one where Jimmy exists and you and I exist in that one. And then the three of us coexist together in a completely separate one. But every multiple and combination of that scenario exists as well.
I was
So-
gonna say, you
Interesting.
got me kind of lost on
And
that one.
and
Break
dope.
it down further, right? So Jimmy exists and you exist in my universe,
Mhm.
right? That's one option. But there's also the option that you really are an older version of Jimmy, and Jimmy and you are the same. But then there's an opposite version of that where Jimmy, you and Jimmy are the same. So meaning you, Scott, are in, the same version of him, and he is in a separate one, the same version of you. It goes on and on and on and on, and there's no end to the multiplier of possibilities.
You know what it kind of almost sounded like for a second was, if you think of the movie Back to the Future 2, where
Mhm.
he goes forward, but he has to be careful not to see himself.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of what.
Exactly that same concept
So
plays out. And what
So
happens
you
when
might
you
have
do
ran
see
into yourself and didn't know that it was you.
or Jimmy ran into his older self, which
And
might
didn't
be
know.
might be harmful to him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Look at
That'd
And
be
then there's
interesting.
a completely separate parallel universe where neither one of us exist. You, Jimmy, or me. And it's all in Jen's head.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I didn't exist before July 28th, 2023.
That's right. I
Well,
gotta take my top hats off to you, and listening to this program has been a real break from the harsh reality of the past couple days. So thank you.
definitely.
It has been. And thank you
But
for your input. And I'm
I
going to.
didn't catch what Lloyd said, but keep
I'll
going.
have him repeat it in a second. But I will recommend that everybody go back in the archives and watch some of AJ's or listen to AJ's
Yep.
shows from that Dope referred to. And I will point out before we have Lloyd repeat it, Dope says we all shift universes quite often, and he believes that. So interesting, very interesting. And AJ shed some light, and I hope I haven't done Jimmy harm by running into him.
I hope not.
I hope I'm gonna have to reach out to him. I don't, but
Well,
I
we've
don't know.
seen him just on the 20th, but
I know.
see, you crossed paths again. Okay, well, I didn't catch what Lloyd you had said.
I said that I did not exist before July 28th, 2023. That happens to be an episode of AJ's The Good, the Bad, and the
Oh,
Ugly
yeah.
of Technology.
I remember that.
And from that podcast, I became part of the Rip and Rabbit Hole, I guess, after now almost 3 years.
It has
Yes,
been about 3 years, yeah.
and that's when you pledged to take the no map, right? Or the
I don't know if it was that
what,
specific one.
Oh no, that,
Yeah, taking the trip without the phone GPS
Yeah,
and just using maps of the old days.
yep. I don't know if it was that episode.
was that the episode, Lloyd?
Yeah, that was the episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, it's cool.
He put a challenge out in the last 10 minutes of the podcast, and I responded to it on an email. And we've been talking since.
And boom, and now you're part of the Rip and Rabbit Hole family. And now that we're back on YouTube, now Dope found his way because he's a longtime listener of AJ, and he's found his way back to the Rip and Rabbit Hole, and good to have him on board and chiming
Definitely.
in because I've got the screenshot now. I'm going to break that one down. And I'm going to.
I'd like to add on to AJ's string theory that he brought up. The Bible tells us that God spoke, and then there was this. So everything is sound. Even light is sound at a very high vibration. Even matter is sound at a very low vibration. And if one can amplify a minute vibration of an infinitesimal small amount, and you can amplify it with enough energy, can you review that timeline or can you re-enter that timeline? This is why I'm on the side that you can only go backwards, you can't go forward, because forward is being created all the time. Now, maybe you can prophesize what will happen in the future by events that happen in the present and the past. But think about Tesla was able to say that he could look back and see visions of the past. So it sounds like an amplifier where you have your speakers and you amplify that sound so you can hear it.
Lloyd, though, he actually said he had invented a device that allowed you to see the past, the present, and the future all at the same time.
Well, I would be on the one that would have to continue to study how he could see the future. If it hasn't been, the sound has yet been created.
But what you just said is now in the past. So it's created in the moment. So right now is the past. So are we ever truly in the present?
I think unless time stops, we are never in the present. Would you agree, AJ?
I would have to, because already we're in the past.
Yeah, it's in the past.
Well, if you divide a number by half, does it ever reach zero?
If a tree falls in the middle of the forest and nobody's there to hear it, does it make a noise?
Yes,
Corey
it
said
does.
who's on first.
But that's
Lloyd
beside-
is already Lloyd is already in the future.
Did Jimmy get a glimpse of what he's going to look like in 20 years?
Oh, poor guy. I'm just,
I have my friends used to tell me that I looked exactly like a Los Angeles Laker forward. I can't remember his name. Maybe I think his first name was Kent, which my last name is Kent, by the way. And they swear to God that I was his twin brother.
you
So
know,
as much as that picture of Scott and Jim there together, I mean, they would show me pictures of this guy that played basketball for the Los Angeles Lakers. We were not the same height though.
Interesting.
and I will say there is Project Looking Glass. It's an alleged top secret U.S. military / CIA technology claimed to allow for viewing potential future timelines and events. Whistleblower accounts suggest it uses advanced plasma manipulation to observe how future events converge, with reports alleging all timelines converge to a fixed point around 2012 to 2016. Look it up.
And on that note, Red, now we're up against the hour, and we're gonna stick to our hour tonight, or just a couple minutes over.
And we can always carry on the conversation in the backstage.
And we can, and we will. But I can also tell you that because of tonight's show, I'm able to look into the future a little bit.
Yeah.
And what I see is Judge Johnson receiving thousands and thousands of
letters on behalf of Harry Waite.
And Harry Waite not seeing any time behind bars.
I agree.
Hopefully Tina Peters' case will impact Judge Johnson's decision, but I just had a vision of his mailbox being overwhelmed with mail, and we the people coming to the aid of Harry Waite. So
from across the country.
Don't forget to get your letters in. I don't care where you live, folks. It can be Wisconsin or outside the state of Wisconsin.
I agree.
Write the letters.
But on that note, Friday, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., Ribbon Rabbit Hole Live with AJ. And Sunday, in the backstage only, not broadcast, 2 or more gathering.
Great way
at 10:30 a.m.
Great way to kick off your Sundays.
Absolutely amazing.
And I will remind everybody to go back in the archives at ribbonrabbithole.com. Probably available on YouTube as well.
Yes.
But go back into the archives and watch some of AJ's episodes on
the parallel
universe and Mandela effect. And maybe this will help me understand Mandela a little bit more, because I know at the end of the song "We Are the Champions," it ends with "of the world."
Of the world, yep. And on that note, let's stop wasting everyone's time,
because we have a republic to save. Have a good night, folks.